9 grueling races in the books, leaves us with only one left. CRN's coverage of the season finale here for the CSRL GT3 Series Season 8 takes us to the Suzuka International Racing Course. And this is not going to be an easy finish for some of these guys for sure, as it's got, just like a lot of tracks, a little bit of everything. It's got some hairpin corners, got plenty of S's, well, S's on top of S's in the first section for sure. Even got a crossover. This is a figure 8 style track, and you see the crossover right there in the middle of your screen. The bridge is where they're coming over, heading into to 130R, and then the underneath heads them into the hairpin that you see at the top of your screen. A lot of different corners. I mean, no two corners are really the same here at Suzuka, and these drivers are certainly going to have a test here tonight. Carl and we're joined in the booth by Joe Sullivan. And Joe, Suzuka is a fun track for some, but if you're new to this track, it's definitely going to be a little tough.
Yeah, I've barely put any kind of laps in. I got some laps in the other day, and this thing is quite turny. I felt like I was just turning the steering wheel the entire lap. I know there's some straightaways out there, but it really didn't feel like there was any kind of straightaway with as many turns as there is. And like you said, S's on top of S's. You know, you get halfway through the S's and you think you're good, and then boom, there's a bunch of them coming. So it's really turny. So it'll be a challenge for these guys here tonight to finish this season off and crown a couple champions here tonight.
Spoken like a true oval racer, very turny track.
Turns.
Absolutely. Well, we've got our pro championship already locked up as of last week, if not the other week before, with Craig Jancic taking the standings there. But we'll take a look at the current standings as we head into the night, and it's very, very much up for grabs in the amateur class. And you see over on the left, Craig Jancic has the standings, and trying to bring them down a little bit so they're not cut off. But Craig Jancic has the Pro Championship locked up over Siviani Madrigal, Dan Barrera, your top 3. But over in the AM class, Randall Ayers only 5 points ahead of Jim Herrick. And that can be, handled by one mistake here tonight. I mean, there's enough drivers here in the M class that it's still up for grabs. It's still a possibility, and Jim Herrick's got some pretty good times up here so far. But it's going to take a bit of a miracle. It's going to take Jim Herrick to grab the win here, and possibly Randall Ayers to finish dead last in the M class. So we'll see how it all shakes out here tonight. But I'm certainly looking forward to it. Hopefully you all are out there. We're going to talk to the amateur competitors here in a second, but just waiting for them to finish up. Looks like Jim Herrick is now done as well, so we'll go ahead and bring them in and talk a little championship here, and we'll bring them both in here together. And that's going to be the driver of the 40, Jim Herrick, and driver of the 66, Randall Ayers. Boys, you only have one race here to go, but a little bit on the line here tonight. So, Randall, we'll start with you. Certainly, and really we can say the same thing about both of you. Bit of an up and down season for both of you, but Randall, you really seem to be finding your stride here late in the season. So, what's it going to take to finally close this thing out here at Suzuka?
Well, first thing I do is got to catch up. I did not qualify very well. So, yeah, I'm going to have to play catch up here and just, drive my pace and hope for the best.
All right, we'll switch over to you, Jim. Kind of the same deal. Yeah, a bit of an up and down season here, and a little bit like last season as well. But you find yourself in here with a chance at the championship. You led going into the penultimate round last week, but Randall Ayers took it from you at Nürburgring. So what's it going to take to take it back from him here and grab your championship?
Yeah, last week wasn't a great performance for me. All I really had to do was stay on track, and it'd be a lot closer race today. I could do that, but today's a different story. I know this track pretty well. No excuses. If I can't perform today, then it's not going to happen. So I got a really good first qualifying lap, and then just went for it on my second lap and happened to knock another couple tenths off of it. So I had a better than expected qualifying, and I'm just going to try and keep it on track and stay up front.
right, well, we'll see who's going to crown a champion here tonight in the AM class. Wish you both luck, but before we let you get out of here, we'll start with you, Randall. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Once again, all the guys that put this on at the Casual Sim Racers League, Jim and the new admin. I can't remember his name now, Renan. And also to you guys for putting on a wonderful broadcast. Really like watching it. Thanks.
Appreciate it, buddy. Jim, what about you before we let you go?
Yeah, same thing. Just want to shout out to you guys for doing a great broadcast. We really love watching them, and to Renan and Jim for being admins. Renan's just getting started, so welcome to that. That'll be fun, I'm sure. And shout out to my sponsor, 4D Racewear, and family and friends that might be watching tonight. So thanks.
All right, well, we'll let you boys get to it, and we'll be talking to one of you one way or another at the end of this race, and see one of you is taking that AM championship. But it's been a great season so far. Good luck on the season finale, and we'll talk to you after the race.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck, boys.
Again, that is the 40 of, as I put them in the wrong channels, that is the 40 of Jim Herrick and the 66 of Randall Ayers. But this field is set. They are ready to go, and we're going to hop down here, take a look at the starting order. There we go. Finally pops up here. But starting order for the pro class is going to be Craig Jancic, your championship, your champion here in the pro class. On top of the boards with a 159.089. Siviati Madrigal, Peter Moeller, new to the series here, Devin Young in fourth. Jim Dutton, Herbert Pineda, Brandon Powell, Dan Barrera, Renan De Lima, and Osvaldo Blanco. And then we have one more here, Salvador Duran, starting in 11th. Over in the AM class, it is going to be Jim Herrick on the pole, right, what he needs to do. Christian Torres in second, Randall Ayers in third, Jay Little, Stefan Price, and Ryan Farron are going to round out the field. But we are already ready to go. We'll send it down to Barney here as we are about to get the green flag won last time here for CSRL in Season 8, and this should be an excellent race here, and especially going through these first couple corners, not easy at all. We'll see who's got what it takes to handle those cold tires. As the green flag on the left-hand side there, you see it waving. We are racing at Suzuka.
Yeah, we're going to see how these boys handle these S's here right away. And see how they get through this turn one action, as it's been kind of hectic from time to time this season, but they get through it pretty nicely there. Craig's got off to his usual out front self.
Yeah, turn one very fast, but you got to sweep out to the outside to set up turn number 2, and then you head into the S's, and this thing is just literally just back and forth, back and forth. You feel like you're just getting run through the ringer here.
Too much turning, Carl.
Yeah, it's turning. It's a turning track, as you mentioned. Can't really get much more descriptive than that. Very, very turny. But these guys now heading down into a very difficult section here, the double right-hander, which is known as there's a track of I'm thinking here. Yeah, it is Degner before they head into to the hairpin right here, and not a very difficult hairpin because you're slowing up, and then you just got to rotate. You really want to get a good run out of it because it sends you down a long, kind of sweeping right-hand turn all the way through, but you're flat out the entire way before you head down into Spoon. The section known as Spoon down here, kind of a double right-hander here. Here's the entry to Spoon, and then the driver's coming out of the exit here. Again, you want to get a really good launch out of the corner because it heads you down the backstretch. One of the few long straightaways here on the circuit, and you're at full power right here until you get into one of the sketchiest sections on the track. It's just a little corner here. 130R can certainly upset cars very easily if you don't take the entry too carefully. If you catch a curb on the exit, we've seen it last season, you catch that curb a little bit on the exit, and it's going to throw that car right around and right into that red, white, and green barrier on the right-hand side there, heading through the chicane here, and that is one lap complete here at Suzuka.
And Randy Ayers had about as good as first lap as you can possibly imagine for him, as he's now up to second in the AM class. Oh, he's third in the AM class.
Yep,
but,
he is third.
I mean,
cleared a couple of
he's only a couple of
cars.
Yeah, he's a couple of cars in between him and Jim, and really, Randy doesn't have to win this race. He just has to finish in a certain spot here in order to hold. I think if he finishes probably fourth or better, I think he can lock it up if my math is correct. But so that's all he's really looking for, is just get into a spot where he can just, seal this championship. Obviously, if he's got the pace to be out front, he's going to go ahead and try to win this race, but it's not necessary here tonight.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the see what the tiebreakers are, but again, Randall coming in with a 5-point lead over Jim Herrick. So, if Jim were to beat him by 5 positions and they tie, I would assume that the first tiebreaker would be most wins, which would still go to Randall Ayers, having more wins than Jim Herrick here tonight. Unless, Jim wins here tonight, they may have the same amount of wins. Actually, come to think of it, I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look back now. I'm starting to second guess myself, but. Really, if Randall can just keep it inside the top 3, he's definitely guaranteed. In the top 4, he's still guaranteed. He doesn't want to flirt with having any kind of issues and falling back there to 5th or God forbid 6th. If he finishes 6th, then he doesn't have to worry about it. There ain't no tiebreakers. He's going to lose, at the last race. But yeah, very interesting, and should be a good one here tonight. But Joe, are these going to be the quickest 40 minutes of these drivers' seasons, or it's going to feel like the exact opposite? It's going to feel like forever, especially for Jim Herrick right now out there in the lead, just trying to do what he can to secure as many points as possible.
Well, I think it's going to be very quick for Jim and Randy here tonight, but for everybody else, especially Craig, it's going to feel probably like a real long 40 minutes. Craig's already got everything wrapped up. Obviously, he wants to get another win here tonight, which would give him, I think, 5 on the season. So that would have him winning half of the races here in this 10-race season. So that's, pretty impressive feat for, even for Craig with this competition that's been here this year. With Colin gave him, quite the battle this year, and last year, can't remember the name of the champion there, but he won several races, so it's gonna. But he likes this track, so it's probably not gonna feel too long. So this is one of his favorite tracks. So maybe it's just another little bit of time to learn something and maybe try to pick up some time here and there, which he's already putting down the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, Craig Jancic, the Pro Division winner 2 seasons ago, and just had a really rough season last year, but was able to, I believe, come home in second place in the points as he started finding his footing in the second half of the season. But not wasting any time finding his footing this year, as he's had a very dominating season out front, and certainly going to be a well-deserved champion once again here in the Pro class here for CSRL. But taking a look over here at the M class, they're still 1, 2, 3 right here. Jim Herrick leading the way, but right behind him, Christian Ortiz-Torres. Right behind him, Randy Ayers. And then behind them are coming the 2 pros that started from the back of the field, that being Osvaldo Blanco and actually Dan Marrero right there, and then Salvador Duran, all right behind. You see right there in the back of the screen. So it's one of those things. It's not multi-class racing here tonight. As Randall Ayers goes a bit wide there at 130R. Doesn't want to do that too many times. But yeah, as I was saying, it's not multi-class racing, but it's multi-class racing in the sense that there's some guys in the Pro, some guys in the AM. Even though they're running the same cars, same fittings, same setups, everything like that. If the pros get, intermingled here within the classes, and, there's any kind of contact or any kind of mix-up, or, Jim Herrick catching up to the back of some pro cars here, if he gets held up a little bit, it plays a big, big part.
Yeah, and like you said, it's 2 races in one, which obviously there's going to be different skill levels until, some guys either get used to, road racing these cars, the sim racing experience itself. So I like that part of it, so that you're still racing against, everybody, but also guys in your division, in your kind of your weight class. And also with the ability to run with the guys that are faster, you get to learn from them. And, for the amateurs, that's all you can ask for is, get some tips from them, either if you're a visual guy or however, someone teaching you to do it. But it's kind of how we do things in core, which I think is great. And it's even more than just the 2 divisions. So it's awesome. I like how it's it's done like that.
Yeah, for any drivers looking to get into the series, this is the last one of the season, but they're already ramping up for season number 9, and it's going to take place in the start. Sounds like week number 2 of the iRacing schedule, and probably run right along parallel with the iRacing schedule. So still time to certainly hop in and get yourself into season 9, whether you're a pro class, easy for me to say, pro class driver or an AM class driver. They're certainly looking for new faces out there, and see what kind of speed you have and how you can compete with these drivers in here. There's plenty of talent all the way through the field, and you can certainly find your footing as to where you're going to slide in there. But just get a hold of myself, Joe. Get a hold of Jim Dutton, the man behind the curtain here at CSRL, or even some of the other admins, as you mentioned. I know Craig Jancic would get you all set up here as well while he's celebrating his Pro Class Championship. But good start for all the drivers here so far, and we've still got everybody out there running laps except for, it looks like, Brandon Powell. Not sure what happened to him, but he was in here early on lap number 2 coming into the pits. So not sure if he had some early issues, if he was doing more barrel rolling. Okay, there we go. Looks like may have a replay event, and right here, 130R again. I mentioned it in the pre-race, and that's exactly what can happen. Hard impact there for the 831. We'll take a look at it one more time and show you. You catch that curbing on the outside the wrong way. You see it seems fine, and then all of a sudden he goes to come back on the track, and it just snaps, and you are along for the ride. And if you got a direct drive wheel, you better let go, because that thing is going to fly out of your hands for sure. Hard impact there for the 831. So luckily for him, it's at the end of the lap, so he was able to limp that thing back to pits and get it repaired, but not the start that he wanted for sure. But that's it's something that well, actually no, he's a pro class driver, so it's not going to help out Randall Hires at all for position here. But we're getting close to a battle here for the lead. Jim Herrick can't just worry about Randall Hires; he's got to worry about Christian Ortiz Torres closing him down.
Yeah, that's all. I was just already looking up about the notifications for the race and everything, and it didn't show any crashes, and I thought everybody was running clean. And even Brandon Powell, it didn't show it; they just showed it as an off track. So it's something we may have to keep an eye on, because it's not showing like crashes.
Well, it was definitely off track, and when he hit the wall, he was literally off the track with all 4 tires. Not quite as good as Bathurst. I don't think he's going to be able to match that. That was pretty phenomenal when he did the aerial move.
He's
certainly
getting good at getting all the 4 wheels off the ground.
Not in a good way, but yes, exactly. Little battle up here in the pro class between Herbert Pineda and Jim Dutton right in front, and then right behind you got the newcomer Devin Young as they battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. As we are already 10 minutes into this thing, over a quarter of the race already complete. Joe, this is definitely a turning track, as you said. How do you think these drivers are handling it so far?
Well, very well. I mean, like I said, I was just looking through, and there hasn't been any crashes until we've seen Brandon's crash. But for 6 laps in, I mean that's pretty impressive for this track. For me, it would be. I mean, like I said, it's really turning, and for these guys just to be able to keep this thing going, and for 17 guys here to show up at the season finale is a pretty good number too.
Yeah, that is. It is phenomenal to see that many guys out here. Of course, they'd love to see even more. But as leagues do, most of the time they kind of dwindle numbers towards the end of the season as guys find other leagues, or they have prior commitments, whatever it may be. More often than not, the numbers dwindle by the end of the season. But 17 at the finale is definitely a good number to have, and 11 guys in the pro class, another 6 in the AM class is definitely great to see. You'd like to see at least 5 in each. So good to see plenty of drivers out here. But Craig Jancic had a little moment there as we seen it going off track just a little bit and gave up some time. Simeon Madrigal second in the points, and big moment back there for Devin Young. Not sure if you've seen it in the background there, but we'll take a look at it here one more time. And I'm not going to say it enough here. 130R, the curbing on the outside, you have to either nail it perfectly or just avoid it at all costs, because this is going to happen over and over again. Big impact there for the 14, and almost rolls the car over there, catching the kitty litter on the outside, as he's going to have to bring it back into pits. But I mean, it can happen that quickly. As we take a look back here at the battle for first, second, and third, Christian Ortiz-Torres now got company from behind, and Randall Ayers almost had a move there made by Dan Marrera. And got to remember here, Dan Marrera in the pro class, and he's pretty much set in his position when it comes to the points, as he comes in here in third in points, and pretty much locked in there. Well, can't really say locked in there, because he does have a battle with Jim Dutton, so he's looking to get up through the field and hold on to third place in the points. But his teammate is Jim Herrick, so a little team action here, a little team call here for the 404 and the 40.
Yeah, he's rooting Dan on right now. Hey, come on, Dan, get around him. And then try to get some space on him. Because as I was just trying to mention, but Blanco, he got through all three of them very quickly. So I seen he got around Randy, and then I'll just put another car in between him and Mr. Herrick, but then Blanco just got around the other two very quickly too. So
yeah, Blanco off 10 total positions from the start, as he started second last in the field here tonight, and he is up to 6th position overall and 6th in the pro class. But this 130R is going to be I don't think we've seen the last death here. I think it's going to be on the driver's minds, and it should be. It's a very innocuous corner. It doesn't seem like it's much, but you're taking at such high speeds. The car is wanting to push out there, and again, he clipped that curb, and it's going to be 9-9 very quickly. Well, let's go ahead and jump on board here with Dan Marrera and take a lap around Suzuka in the Mercedes AMG. See, pretty quickly as you're grabbing a gear or two, going through turn 1.
Jim at the moment.
And then cutting down to the inside of turn 2, and then you go through the S's. It's just left, right, very turny, as Joe would say, as
so much
Jim
turny.
Herrick. You see in front, Jim Herrick trying to fight and hold back Christian Ortiz-Torres, coming through the last little bit of the S's here into the anti-banked here, as it's a little bit off camera coming through here, heading into Dunlop and then Degner, as you have the back-to-back corners here. Very easy to slide out wide, and then here again you want to keep it tight. You can drift out there up and over the curb a little bit, but not too much, or you're going to get the off track. Heading now down into the hairpin, you see Marrera just backing off a little bit, giving some room before you have the hard angle getting in through the corner. You want to get a good launch off of here again, heading all the way down through this long sweeping right-hander that you are full speed the entire time. And right at the end here, right when you see the red and white curbs, you want to get to the right-hand side, set you up for the entry of Spoon. Corner that it's going to slide to the outside there, and then it's really tough. It's almost kind of off camber again, going through the second part of Spoon before you head down the backstretch. And again, full throttle, pedal to the metal, whatever you want to call it, all the way down into 130R. And you see on board, again, it doesn't look like much. It's just a little bit of a kink, but right there you see you come out a little bit wide. That curbing on the outside, just it comes up on you very quickly. And before you head into the last chicane here, and then the last curve, and that is your lap around the Suzuka International Racing Course.
Very turny, Carl.
Absolutely. I
think it's
not quite as turny as
hairpins.
last week. I mean, we did have Nürburgring last week. I mean, now you're calling a track turny after Nürburgring last week.
Yeah, it's probably hard to imagine, but yeah, and I think it's just because the hairpins are so tight too. Like, I mean, you are almost doing a 180 to get back around there and go the other way. So it's just and not a lot of real estate there. It's just real snug hairpins.
Not a lot of real estate in between these four right here. Jim Herrick, Christian Ortiz-Torres, Randall Ayers, and Dan Marrera, the top three in the M class, and then 7th place in the Pro class, all nose to tail. Up front, it is still Craig Jancic, but he is not stretching out. He's got Siviani Mondragol hanging right with him here and the lead has not gotten out over 1 second for quite some time. It's down to 0.7 right now as we are 17 minutes into this race, so good battle here. Taking a look back a little bit further, in 4th place, Jim Dutton still holding off Herbert Pineda for the time being, but as Osvaldo Blanco has made it through the field, and you see him right there on the screen starting to reel these two in, and it could be a three-way battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th here in the Pro very soon. But, I mean, as we should, all eyes tuned in right here to the AM Class Top 3.
Luis Torres right there. Randy's going to go to the inside for second here.
Big move there for Ayers. Pinches off Ortiz Torres a little bit, and now Dan Morera going to say thank you very much. Go to the inside as well. Does he dare look to the inside at 130R? Backs out a little bit, but he's okay. Everybody does make it through there. Doesn't hit the curbing. Ortiz Torres going to lose a bunch of time right there. He's going to have to reel them back in. And it's one thing about this track, it is turny, but there's definitely some straightaways that you can get some drafting and catch back up. But now, how about this? 1st and 2nd in the AM class are 2nd and 1st here, but Randall Ayers not content. He is going for the lead on Jim Herrick heading into 1. He's going to back out of it, let him have it for now, but now big move into turn number 2. Maybe catching him off guard a little bit. Randall Ayers to the lead.
Yeah, Jim went wide there and had to collect it. And Randy took advantage and shoved it to the inside there. As I wondered if he was going to take his time or just try to get around Jim if he could. And just try to ride there, but he saw his opportunity and took advantage of it.
Now, if you're Jim Herrick here, do you reserve the fact that, okay, Randall got by me, it is what it is, I got to keep the pace that I'm running, I'm comfortable with this pace, and just hope that he has a mistake? Or do you kind of hurry the car up a little bit? Do you try and go maybe a little bit above your head, push that car, get up behind Randall Ayers, and really try and pressure him into a mistake?
Well, I think like right now where Jim's at, and he's got his teammate right behind him, I think they can go either two ways here. They can stay out here and maybe go like 1 or 2 more than Randy, since they can maybe kind of get a little bit of a draft together. If Dan can, give him some pushes down the straightaways, or short pit it here and get out on track by themselves. Be interesting to see which way they choose to go here.
Still not at the halfway mark, so plenty of racing yet to go. Not sure why. I'm just noticing now that looks like we got some extra overlays there. Where you said we'll clear those out. It's not the course fitting series here tonight. So,
although they were on a road course last night.
They were, and they had quote unquote fun at that one. It's a big run over the curbing there for Jim Herrick. Seems like, I don't know if those tires are wearing off here a little bit or not, but he's going to make that right-hand turn into the pits. We are past the halfway point at this moment, 20 minutes and 30 seconds into this race. And 2nd place in the points here in the AM class going to come into the pits. Looks like Stefan Price going to join him in the pits as well back there in 5th. Only retiree here in the field is Devin Young, the new one here in 14th.
And as you see there, I wondered if he was going to take tires or not, and that car definitely up in the air getting some kind of tire, so I think he knew his tires were struggling and he had to come in and get some fresh tires and then try to finish this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those
solo though. I thought maybe him and Dan would pit together, but
well, unless he thought maybe releasing Dan to chase after Randy Ayers was the better move there, so he wasn't holding up Dan, and maybe Dan can kind of harass him into a mistake. But I'd tell you what, I mean, Randy has been good enough to put it on some of these pro drivers here this season, but I see Dan Herrera right there and right up to the back bumper here of Randall Ayers. So be interesting to see what happens right here. Again, if there's any team calls, we'll see what happens. I mean, Dan's got his own race to worry about. He's got, again, a 2-point lead over Jim Dutton, who is 1 position ahead of him right now. So as it stands, if the race would finish right now, Herrera would be your 3rd place finisher in the points by 1 point over Jim Dutton. So he can't just, throw it away for his teammate. But, certainly can add a little bit of pressure. But, man, you take a look at the pro class there in the intervals. We got pressure all over the place and got pressure for the lead here. A little fake there, and Simeone Madrigal certainly harassing the back of that 3 of Craig Jansen, but now going to lose a bit of time here in turn number 2 as Madrigal does not want to go quiet into that night, and he wants to get one more win or get a win here on the season and not give, you know, all the kudos to Craig Jansen. I mean, it's bad enough, you know, Craig just dominated this season. He didn't want to see him win one more race here at the end of the season. He wants to you know, to let him know, like, hey, you may have won it this year, but I'm taking the last lap here, and I'm taking it into season 9.
Yeah, and I mean, he's going to come away here in second point, so, and if he can finish this season with the win, you know, and who knows, I haven't looked at the schedule for next season, but maybe there's some tracks in there that's going to favor him, you know, and maybe some tracks that he really likes, so...
and if I'm not mistaken, I believe Simeone missed a race or 2 as well this season. So, you know, had he not done that, he could be right there with Craig. Certainly, you know, Simeone had plenty of good runs here this season. Not quite as good as Craig. I mean, Craig again has pretty much dominated this season in the pro class, and you know, is again well deserved here of the championship. But Simeone not letting him get away and not just having him. You know, out there as a Sunday drive, a country drive here for the last race of the season. He is sticking now within a half a second once again, heading down into 130R as both these Lamborghinis pushing hard and keeping off the rumble strips there on the outside of 130R, but all over the backside is the 15.
So do they keep those smooth for that reason, or is that just the way that the curbing is on some of these tracks like that?
Yes,
like
it's no, yeah. So every track is different. In some tracks, you know, at certain corners they'll be you know, really high sausage curves, and other corners will be a little bit flatter. And I think it's, you know, it's really up to the track's discretion and, you know, how much they want to allow drivers to maximize the speed through a corner or kind of slow them down and not let them get on the curbing. You know, I know you've been on some tracks before that have the big old sausage curves that you need to avoid at all costs. Not too many situations of that here, unless you get pretty far off track there in the chicane at the end of the track here. But you know, most of these curbs here at Suzuka, you can take and get on it a little bit. Really, the only reason you can't get on the curbing on the exit of 130R is because you're at so much speed, and most of the time you're not just, you know, getting on top of the curb like you're taking it, you know, the inside of a corner, or, you know, fading out to the outside and straightening out the wheel. You're pretty much full rotation going through 130R, and you typically clip that just a little bit, and you think of the contact patch of the tires. It's not as much contact on the track, and that's what sends you around.
Yeah, because essentially that wheel is spinning and not gripping like the other ones. It just, I think if it was like, I don't know if it's like a real bad issue in real life, but I feel like if it was, then they could just, you know, doctor those up and give them some kind of grip, you know, not to where it's like an ice rink, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's again, it's one of those things where if it is like that in real life, it could be designed like that because they don't want them to get on that curve. They want them to stay to the inside and kind of slowing them down there a little bit, maybe make it a little bit better race because of that. But I'll tell you what, I was going to say, a heck of a run there out of the corner from Madrigal, and I'm surprised at this. If I'm Simeone, I would have wanted to be the first one of those two into the pits, but now Madrigal is left out on his own. Can he put in a burner lap here and make a great in lap? It didn't seem like Jansic had necessarily the best in lap there. It wasn't a bad lap, but it didn't seem like it was, you know, the best. So if Simeone can just do a little bit better here on this in lap, he may be able to get him on the switch.
Yeah, and he doesn't need much because he was right there on Craig. So if he can just get half a second, you know, difference here, that's going to put him out in front, and he's going to have the advantage.
Back in the AM class, we still have Randy Ayers yet to come into the pits. He is the lone amateur that has not come into the pits yet, as we have the top 3 overall, Simeone Madrigal, Peter Moeller, and Jim Dutton in the pro class yet to come in, as is Salvador Duran there in 5th place, has yet to come in the pits as well. Everybody else making their pit stops, and the most part, it looks like everybody coming in just for fuel only, maybe 2 tires at the most. Looks like Brian Farron at the back there, maybe taking all 4 tires to be safe. Brennan De Lima had a bit of a moment earlier. Looks like he's back out on track right now, but pretty far behind. He is 1 lap behind in the Pro class right now. But taking a look at your 2 potential championship winners here in the series, and that being the 66 of Randy Ayers letting the 3 of Craig Jancic go. Did that little bit of hold up right there give enough room for Simeone Madrigal to get the overcut here done, as it looks like the only one in the pits right now is Devin Young. So we'll take a look here coming out of the final corner. Simeone Madrigal now is going to make that right-hand turn. Got to have a really good entry here. Hard on the brakes once you get to the cones, down to the pit road speed, and we'll see where this shakes out. Currently, Peter Moeller going to stay out in the 997 for another lap. Haven't talked about him yet in this race, but started up there in 3rd place, doing a really good job up here once again, as he is going to inherit the lead for the time being. Jim Dutton is going to come into the pits from 3rd place. So taking a look now, Craig Jancic coming out of the final corner. Where is Simeone Madrigal? Looks like he is rolling, but it's going to be very close here, heading into turn number 1. And Simeone Madrigal, your new leader after the pit cycle here, as Peter Moeller is the last one to come into the pits. But Simeone Madrigal does a great job on the overcut.
I mean, that's a second right there, I believe, that he's got on Craig right now.
Yeah, you look at the, you look at just the pit times, and that's exactly what he got. He had he was 1 second faster in the pit time, not pit stops. That's not what I want. Where is pit time? There it is. So take a look at the time in their pit box, and right there, Simeone Madrigal 10.6 seconds stationary, where Craig Jancic was 11.5. So right there is your second that he gained on the track. It can happen that quickly, and again, we talked about it so many times. Gaining a second on track under pace compared to gaining a second on pit road. I mean, pit road is so much easier to gain or lose time, and Simeone Madrigal pulled it off very nicely, but you know, Craig Jancic, it's just going to fire him up even more, and I have a feeling you're going to see some faster laps here now from Craig as he wants that lead back.
Oh yeah, he's in a different mode now. When he was out front, he was just cruising. Now he's got something to get after, and he's going to put down some heaters here if he can. So we'll see if he can't cut into this, and let's see how much time we got left here. About we're into 10 minutes. So
did not see this earlier, but this was Jim Herrick. Big moment here, takes off the front end, and that could be the championship hopes dash right there for the 40. Gets it turned back around, but that is a lot of damage to the front of that Porsche as he made an incident coming into Degner. We'll take a look at it one more time. Coming in, takes a big helping of that inside curb, and that is one of the curbs where you see it's not exactly small, and gets the car very upset, gets out on the outside curb, and just along for the ride. Nothing much he can do. And again, big impact to the inside wall, rips that front fender off, and looks like it fish and pulls back on there, like iRacing does. But you can see still plenty of damage on the front of that 40. Back up to the lead here, and Simeone Madrigal still out there. Less than 10 minutes left in the race and in the season here. Thank you to everyone tuning in to tonight's coverage of the CSRL Season 8 finale here at Suzuka International Racing Course. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, and get you in touch with everything SCRN has to offer, including these boys here at CSRL, as they're going to take a few weeks off before they start Season 9, but it's already in the works. It's already on the books for CRN, as we will cover them for another season. We are absolutely grateful to do so. It's been a blast doing it, and Joe, I think you can echo me when I say that.
Yes, I'm ready for the next season. I mean, let's see if Craig can do what he did again, and maybe see if it looks like Randy's going to get this championship, if he can keep it going here, and see what he can do in the pro class next year. And as he was hanging with them a lot of these races this season. So it'll be fun to see him up in the pro class and do kind of guys we can have in the AM class and see how that shakes out.
There's always some new names that pop up there, but Randy Ayers was definitely fast last season in season 7 and showing it once again here at least in the second half of the season here in the AM class, and it's going to be enough the way it looks here as it stands for him to grab the AM class championship, which will get him the promotion up to the pro class, whether he likes it or not. So we'll see what he can do up there in the pro class next season. As you know, Joe, you mentioned it, he's put it to some of these pro guys this year, and he's got a bunch of top 5 overalls, which means he's beating some of those pro guys already. And you took a look at it here tonight. He's technically running 6th place overall, so he'd be 6th in the pro class here tonight. Not exactly a bad finish for an M class driver.
No, and I think it was like 2 races ago where he had a chance for another top 5, and that would have been like 3 in a row overall, and just got passed for 6th on like the last lap. But yeah, he's knocking on another top 5 door, and Mr. Dutton.
Oh, big move there from Jim Dutton. We'll take a look at that one more time. As it happened right in front of Randy Ayers. Well, looks like this was a crash a bit earlier here as he went to the outside, spun it sideways through turn number 2, and backed up off the track. But I think once he got it back going here, that's where the scary moment came into play, because he spun it around again to get off the track and away from these drivers. As Randy Ayers has got plenty of company. He's got Dan Marrero right behind him. He's got Christian Ortiz Torres right behind him as well, looking to try and grab the win. So this win here for the race certainly not over just yet. Christian Ortiz Torres would love to finish the season here with a W here at Suzuka. So he's not going to be just letting these guys go. But Dan Marrero right there, he's been right in the mix of these boys this entire race so far. And we're coming down to almost 5 minutes left in the season. Joe, it's kind of bittersweet that this season is just about over, as it's been a great one. But as you said, season 9 not too far around the corner. I'm already looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's bittersweet, but they are not lacking. What we love is drama. I mean, we have both classes. The leader is only under a second here, so, and we're coming down to a couple laps left to go in the season and in this race, and they give us a little bit of drama here to end it. So it's pretty fitting for the way the season has gone.
Well, and big drama there between even Jim Dutton and Dan Marrero there. Again, where they're positioned, Jim Dutton was only 1 point behind Dan Marrero in the points as they were running, but now with Jim having his issues, he is now going to be 3 points behind as it stands, as he's going to lose another point here on the finale if it were to end the way it is. But he is trying to do his best for his teammate right now, I think, and in the 40racewear.com team, trying to harass that 66 into some kind of issue. But where Jim Herrick is running right now, back there in 5th place, he is right behind Stefan Price, so he'll be able to pick up one more position before this thing is over. But we want to send a final thank you, regardless of what happens here tonight, to Jim Herrick and 40 Racewear for their help and their sponsorship here in the series for CSRL. And if you haven't done so yet, go check out 40racewear.com for the original racing shoes or racing gloves for your feet. 4 minutes left in the season. Sibiani Madrigal has got a minuscule lead over Craig Jancic. Craig looking for yet another win here in the season. Madrigal trying to hold him back and maybe celebrate with little Jamison after this one if he does, as he's got a 6/10 of a second lead and most likely 2 laps left, maybe 3 depending on when they cross the line. It's going to be very tight, very close. And over in the AM class, bit of the same, as Randy Ayers has got 9/10 of a second, but he's got a buffer car in between, and that being Dan Marrero. So Christian Ortiz Torres needs to pass 2 cars from 2nd place to get 1st.
That doesn't happen every day. I do want to give a shout out to Jim Herrick too here real quick from 40 Racewear, as I ordered shoes and gloves today from him. So excited to get those, and give us a couple weeks for me to get them, and I'll be talking about those next season too. So let's see how everything's going with those. So I can't wait to get those and see if it'll make me just a little bit faster on the road.
Not gonna hurt, at the very least. Not gonna hurt for sure. I want to send a shout out to everybody out there watching, Barry out there watching as usual. And shout out there to Colin Winslow. Unfortunately, not here in the field tonight. Hopefully, we get to see him back out here next season and maybe up there harassing Craig Jancic for some more wins and taking it to him for the championship. As next season should be a good one. As it sounds like potentially last season's champion. I'm forgetting the name too for some reason, but from what I hear, he may be coming back into the mix, so it could be a very good battle in the pro class for next season. But I mean, whenever you have a championship come down to the last race of the season like this AM class has, it's what you love to see. And we talked about drama the entire season, and there's not really much more drama than a championship being decided on the final night.
No, and these battles for wins here with guys just under a second behind somebody. So, and Dan's trying about everything he can get around Randy so he can get that top 5. And Randy's trying to keep him in between second place, Torres.
For all those who tune in and love to hear it segments, we haven't had a chance in these last couple races the way it seems to even have that, as there's been so much action and drama on the track that we don't really want to get away, and it's not going to be much of the same here as these drivers now coming through the S's one more time and try and take a look at the start cam. Of course, it's a horrible look there. Bad camera angle there for sure. But Siviani Madrigal trying to hold off for one more lap here. We'll try and take a look at somebody coming around the final corner to see if the white flag is indeed waving. So we'll jump on board here. And I'm not seeing anything quite yet. So looks like we are 2 laps to go here. So going to be some hand wringing and some maybe biting of fingernails here for Siviani Madrigal for 1.5 more laps as they head around down into Spoon one more time. Craig Jancic right behind him, less than a quarter second heading in, stretching out now a little bit over 0.3 of a second as they exit Spoon, but Jancic going to get a nice little draft heading down into 130R. Definitely not a passing opportunity in the 130R unless you are dumb, brave, or, well, dumb. Plain and simple, as they will stay single file, but yeah, got very close there. Madrigal going to protect the inside here, heading into the S turn, the chicane, and Jancic's going to have to back out. That's going to lose him some time here, and this was actually the final lap as a checkered flag coming out. Maybe Barney sleeping a little bit, but Siviani Madrigal going to hold off Craig Jancic here. There you see Barney on the left-hand side. Checkered flag on the season for the pro class. What a drive there to the end. Madrigal getting the win. Jancic going to come home in second. Peter Moeller going to bring it home in third place. Great run for the 997 once again. Herbert Pineda going to come home in fourth as he comes out of the final corner. Good run here for the 105. Not too far behind is your AM class champion. Couple more corners to go, and it is going to be the 66 of Randy Ayers bringing it home here tonight. Great second half of the season is going to lock him into a championship. Great run there right behind him to Dan Herrera as just battling with him the entire time. Christian Ortiz Torres right behind in second. Good run for the 71. Jim Dutton going to come home in sixth place in the pro class. Jay Little is going to round out your podium spots here. Great run for Jay Little, kind of just quiet here. Haven't really talked about Jay Little at all this race, but sneakily comes home in the final podium spot here. So great run on the season finale for the 196. Joe, the season may be over, the drama may be over, but this was an absolute blast this season.
Oh, it was. It's just drama every race, exciting battles everywhere, whether it was for the lead, whether it was for 5th place in the AM division. I mean, these guys, if there was a battle out there, they put on a good show here, and congrats to all these guys here for the championship, for the wins here tonight. As Randy's going to get a championship and a win. So, like you said, it was a tale of two seasons for him and Jim Herrick. And Randy was trending in the right direction at the end of the season. And Jim Herrick just kind of peaked a little bit early, and then just his problems started and just couldn't finish on a good note here. And I know he wanted to have a good finish here tonight, and just unfortunate that he had that little bit of an accident.
Yeah, a couple little moments for him, and that's all it takes is really just one little moment to really kind of throw you off. But all in all, a great race here at Suzuka, and most of the other drivers being able to finish out this race, and really only it looks like Devin Young and Osvaldo Blanco, the only ones that weren't able to really give this thing a go and kind of finish this thing out. But 15 of the 17 drivers making it all the way to the end on this grueling track, and really a grueling end of the season. As we talked about before, Bathurst, Nürburgring, and then Suzuka is one heck of a gauntlet to finish out the season. But these boys have done it, and done a great job doing so, as we're slowly gathering the drivers in here for one last round of interviews before the season ends. But again, I mean, I can't thank everybody out here enough that makes CSRL go around, between the admins, between Jim Dutton putting this thing on, and again to Jim Herrick for his sponsorship with 40racewear.com. But looks like we are good to go, and no, so like waiting for Peter Moeller here in the pro class, and now we got him. So let's go ahead and talk to these guys, and bring up Peter Moeller first in third place here in the pro class here tonight. Joe, why don't you go ahead and take the 997 of Peter Moeller?
Hey there, Peter. You got a copy?
Yeah, I just jumped in. I hear
right
you.
On. I described this track as very turny. In the pre-race. How would you describe this track?
Turny.
See, Carl, I got something right.
All right. I thought it was maybe just an oval thing, calling this thing turny. But I mean, I said to him, we come from Nürburgring last week, and now he wants to call a track turny.
No, this is a very technical track. Not one of my better ones. I have improved here a little bit, but yeah, congrats to Craig and Siviani, especially on the win here tonight.
Yeah, those boys were out there, and putting on a pretty good show here for the win, and Siviani got him on the pit stops. But you were just there in third and running your own little race, and you've kind of last couple races here been in the top three. So finished the season on a pretty good note here for you.
Yeah. Podium finish was a great way to end, for sure.
You going to be in season 9?
I'm not sure. I was talking to the admins about that last week, so we'll see what happens.
Right on. Well, you finished third here tonight. Congrats on that. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
As usual, Core, great job, and to CSRL, great season, and again, I think Craig won the overall. Correct?
You did. Yes.
Am I correct?
Yeah. Yep.
And a special congrats to him. So, and that's it.
All right. Well, we'll let you get out of here and celebrate.
Thank you.
Yep.
That is your third place finish here tonight, the 997 of Peter Moeller. Second place in the pro class, and just couldn't get it done, and just couldn't put a stamp on the season. Just not good enough, plain and simple, to get it done here tonight. But good enough to be your CSRL pro champion here in season 8. So congrats, Craig, on the season once again. I mean, it's kind of been a foregone conclusion these last couple weeks, but now we can make it official and call you the season 8 pro champion. How good does it feel to put the crown back on after taking a year off?
Yeah, man, that part feels really, really good. It's nice that we've done 3 seasons here in CSRL. I have, at least. This thing's been going on for longer than that, but I've done 3 seasons, and my championship finishes are first, second, and first. So that feels really, really, really good. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for that. To wrap up the season and be on top feels really, really good. I know we have a lot of stiff competition coming in for the following season, and I look forward to that too. to add in more drivers into this weekly winning fold. Great win to Civ this week, by the way, man. Damn, I don't. You know, I'll let you hit me with this week questions, but I've got so much on my mind after this 40-minute session.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seemed like really there were three things that decided this race, and that was your outlap, Siviani's in lap, and the amount of time in the pit stall. As looked like Siviani was about a second less than you in the pit stall, and that was what got the pass done for him. He got it done with the overcut here tonight. But I mean, you were behind him. You were harassing him the entire time you were behind, and when he was behind you, he was right there. You were not letting, nobody was stretching out here tonight. So, what was it about tonight's track that just kept you guys so close together?
Yeah, I have some good thoughts on this too. Yeah, the numbers never lie. So the in-lap out-lap combo worked. I brought it in a lap early because I saw 2 lap cars that were about what I thought would potentially impede the following lap. And what I didn't want to happen with the place you have to commit to pit road here at Suzuka with the where it is on the track, I would have no shot to make it if Civ committed to pit road behind me. So I figured the undercut would be a good idea, knowing that there was 2 lap cars that were going to impede his lap up ahead. And it was worth taking the chance on falling into traffic in the rest of the field that hasn't pitted yet. And unfortunately, to no one's fault, I probably lost about 3/10 as well behind some 2 different cars on the outlap as well. So that part sucked. I brought it easy into pit road just because it's better to do something like that in a competitive race than get a speeding penalty. And then we also had what I would call, and the Oval folks would call, a dirty air thing that was really, really significant here. It was really hard to follow in any corners that were 3rd gear or higher. So that's just about all of them. And it was tough, especially 130R. 130R was so hard. I thought that I was going to wreck on that exit curb 6 times once I got behind him for those final few laps, and that made it really hard. But I threw the kitchen sink in more at him, and he held up well. So a really hard-earned win by Civ. What a great finish overall. A really, really good, hard-fought night for both of us.
Yeah, maybe it's just me and driving style, whatever it may be, but it seems to me that when you get the same kind of cars behind each other is when it seems to upset the car more. If you had a BMW fall in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari fall in a Ford, something like that, it doesn't seem like it's as bad, and almost seems like the drafting is more. I don't know if it's just for the different cars or what it is, and again, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm nuts, but it could have possibly played a part here tonight with both of you guys in the Lamborghini here tonight, and being a bit of wider car, so a lot of air that's gonna kind of get thrown back at you there. But this is not exactly an easy track. I mean, coming off the last 2, I guess it's probably the easiest of the 3 if you want to consider it that. But I mean, this thing comes at you left and right, literally, especially in the first section. But you guys put on a heck of a battle, a heck of a show, and I mean, I know you'd love to finish out there on top and really put a stamp on this championship, but you got to be happy with the run this year, and especially here tonight.
Extremely, extremely happy. I think we had a 50% win rate on the season, which is unheard of in a league this competitive. So really hard to be upset with anything that is on the podium at all, man. And I think that I think we're going to have to be on the podium just about every week next season too. I hope we get some drivers like Ponzi and Winslow back. We see that Civ and Peter, step right into those podium spots and fight hard with them and with us. And I think that, throughout some additional recruitment, we'll be able to get a really, really strong car count next season too. And just keep putting on thrilling performances. I don't know if you announced it or not, but I'm happy to announce that we're going to be back here on Core Racing Network next season. And just looking really, really forward to continuing the awesome partnership that we have, and putting on track products like this. I think we both end up winning.
Well, I mean, you guys keep putting on the drama out there on the track, and it's easy for me and Joe to broadcast. It's great. It seems like no matter what, there's some kind of storyline in each race, whether it's on the track, whether it's in the points, whether it's both. I mean, there's something always going on, and it's very very few times that there's a dull moment here in CSRL. So we are absolutely proud to be partners with you guys here in the broadcasting. But congrats on the second place here tonight. Congrats on the Season 8 Pro Championship. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll thank you guys once more, Joe, Carl, everybody at Core Racing Network. Thank you for having a second successful season with us. Looking forward to Season 3 and beyond. We're also welcoming Renan de Lima into the admin team here for the upcoming season. So a special shout out to him. Looking forward to working closer with him too. Thanks to Jim for a great season as well. And all the competitors, all the people that support me individually, Martin PC, Team Conti Sim Performance, Digital Sim Sports, Studio 3, Freeburn Hot Wings Morning Show, and my own particular viewers, Mom, Dad, and Sandy, and a huge happy birthday shout out to my girlfriend Anna. I'm sorry I couldn't get the win, but I hope the championship's enough.
I got an Aunt Sandy too, so I got to give a shout out to your Aunt Sandy. So yeah, congrats once again. Congrats once again on a very successful season, and I'm sure we'll see you back up in the booth very soon here, starting with season number 9.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. And the last shout out to Civ. Great win.
Congrats, Greg.
Thank you, man. Take care.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, and more importantly here, the Season 8 Pro Champion. Last but not least here for the Pro class is going to be the 15 of Siviani Madrigal, your winner here tonight.
Siviani, how we feeling, man? You got to. He's not in here.
Drop back out. Let's try it again. There we go. Siviani Madrigal here in the 15.
Siviani, how we feeling, man?
Oh man, so it's fantastic, right? It's the first winning. Yeah, you can just imagine how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, I bet. Is this your first win in this league?
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, actually, it's the first win here.
Well, you get the first one, you get the last one in here on the season. How you guys were just locked all night? Like we talked to Craig, he led the first part there, and you were able to overtake him there on the pit cycle, and you guys were just right, next to each other all race. What's it take to get around here so smoothly and so fast?
Well, to be quite honest, I don't know. So I just was trying to maintain the pace, and also in the first stint of the race, I was expecting to maintain a little bit of pace of Craig, but at the same time, I was not expecting to be so close to Craig. And so this track particularly is so hard to be in the draft. So it's so hard to be behind another car. And I was trying to maintain a distance between the two cars that not affect so much. But yeah, I don't know. So I just I think that's maybe one of those nights that you can just drive and do all the things good.
Craig talked about having the dirty air. Did you think you had a chance to get around him, or were you trying, or were you just really just riding there until the pit cycle?
Yeah, to be honest, I never tried to get overtake Craig in the race, because I know it's very, very hard. And here, there are a couple of zones where we can overtake in the braking zone, but it's kind of risky, right? And if you don't do it perfectly, it could cause a lot of damage right there. So yeah, I just try to maintain the pace and be there. And also, I was saving a little bit of fuel. Maybe that was the thing that helped me a lot in the pit stop, because I think Craig takes more time in the pit stop than me. Yeah. And so yeah, there is where I basically gained the time and the race right there. But yeah, so it was nice.
Yeah. Well, did you think you had a chance there, or were you going to pit the very next lap there? Was that the plan? Because to maybe just get maybe one lap behind him there.
I was trying to do in the same time when Craig get the pits. I was expecting to do the same thing in the same lap. But when I saw that he was into the pit stop, so I just decided to go one more lap and push whatever I can. And yeah, you also do the positive, right? What Craig is going to do. So just to see if I can have an advantage, and yeah, I did. So that was the strategy works good today.
Yeah, it did work good for you today. You get the win here and finish the season off strong. And I think you're going to be second in points. So a really good season overall. Are we going to see you for season 9?
Oh yeah, so definitely I also expect about to be here next season. Maybe I don't know when the calendar will be, but yeah. So just in August, I have something and I need to do a surgery, and probably will be like a month off of the races. But yeah, so maybe it's a long time until August, and we will see what happens. But yeah, so at least at the first races, I will be here for sure.
Right on. Well, we hope to see you and get to cover you again for another season. You guys put on a great show every race all season long. So congrats on getting your first win here tonight. Anybody want to give a shout out to?
Well, all to you guys. Well, this broadcast is amazing. Every day I see the broadcast after the race, and yeah, it's just amazing to see you guys. This in this broadcast. How do you live this? Is really, really spectacular. And also to all the guys in the league, Jim, Craig, all the admin guys as well. So thank you very much. And also to my wife again. So she's most of the time not 100% happy, but so today I will say that I at least I won the first race, and yeah, maybe motivates her a little bit more.
There you go. Well, congrats, and we'll see you. We'll see you next season.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good one. Take care. Have fun.
You too.
That is your winner here tonight, the 15 of Silviani Madrigal, taking down the Pro Class champion here on the last night of the season. So great run by the 15. Now time to switch over to the M Class, and first one we'll bring in here. It looks like we might have lost Jay Little. It looks like he's still up there, so try and bring him down here real quick. And third place here tonight in the M Class, the 196 Jay Little. Jay, once again, kind of a quiet run. We didn't really talk about you too much here tonight, but once again, we find you on the podium and just plugging away, getting these things done, and gonna finish yourself in the top 5 in the points as well. So I mean, a good run for the entire season. But how was it out here tonight? I mean, this track is not exactly the easiest out here, and it comes at you left and right.
Well, I honestly did not know I finished third, guys, so you're surprising me. Once again, I went with the Audi. It seemed to, as of the previous weeks, real forgiving of my shenanigans on the track. Laid down some of the quickest laps I've ever laid down here in my life. About halfway through, I could tell the front tires were starting to go, and I had to back off a little bit. But for the most part, I enjoy it.
Well, it's certainly enjoyable. You can get a top 3, especially when it surprises you that you get a top 3 here tonight on the season finale. But at Suzuka, it's a tough little track here to get around, and not really many guys having too much issues here tonight. So I mean, all in all, the entire field doing a really good job. So the fact that everybody was pretty clean, coming home with a third place has got to feel really good here tonight.
Oh yeah, like I said, you surprised me with that. I thought I was like 5th place. So
well, it's even better. We get to talk to you. It's top 3 here tonight. So again, top 5 in the championship for the season. Will we see you in season 9 and maybe making a run at the YAM Class Championship?
Oh yeah, I'll be back next year or next season for sure, without a doubt.
All right. Well, we'll give you a few weeks off here. It sounds like it's going to be a couple weeks before the start of the next season, and give you plenty of time to kind of feel out the cars. But before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to one last time?
Jim Dutton, you guys, my Logitech team for keeping the cars running. I'm at a loss here. I really.
Well, next time we'll make sure somebody prepares you to let you know you got an interview here. You got a top 3.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Oh, good, buddy. Well, congrats again on the podium here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next season.
Hope so. See you then.
That is your third place finish here tonight in the AM class, the 196 Jay Little. Second place in the AM class is going to be that 71 of Christian Ortiz Torres.
Hey, Christian, you got a copy?
Yeah, copy.
Hey, you guys were having a nice little battle there. How fun was that race here for you tonight?
Yeah, it was pretty intense. The battle between the top of our class, Randall, and then Dan Morera in between us. And at some point, it was definitely difficult at the end, especially with the tires. I definitely could not keep up the pace anymore at the end. I was struggling with turn one and any of the fast corners.
Yeah, that's when Herrick had the lead there. It was Herrick, you, and Dan and Randy were all battling each other and put on a pretty good show for us. And it was interesting to watch you guys. And then Jim had his issues, so that got you up a couple spots here, and we were able to finish second here tonight. And I'm not sure where that's going to put you in points, but have they posted that yet?
No, haven't posted yet.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure where it's going to put you in points, but you're going to be top five pretty, I think, pretty easily. So top five in points. How do you feel about that as your season recap is over here now?
I'm excited. It's my first full season with you guys, and it's been pretty competitive with the guys tonight. I guess not everybody made it to the track, but I'm pretty sure the guys that are not here would have definitely been up there with us and made this track even tougher to reach top five.
Are you going to be coming back for next season?
Yes, definitely. I'll definitely try to be here.
Well, you had several podiums here this season, so definitely going to be a contender for the points championship next year with Randy Ayers moving up. So, what's your thoughts on that? And are you going to be trying to get that championship next year?
Yeah, definitely gonna be putting in that practice and joining the races each week and see where we end up and see who else joins.
Well, right on. Well, congrats on a good season. Congrats on the second here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
My girlfriend Brooke and my family in Denver, and some of the guys from everybody in CFG Racing, and some of the channels that I follow, Outways and Adane, and all of you guys, of course. Thank you for putting up this show and letting us race and be competitive.
Right on. Well, congrats, and we'll let you go celebrate.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That is your second place finisher tonight in the M class, the 71 of Christian Ortiz Torres. Last one we will bring in for the drivers here tonight is going to be your M class champion, and that is the 66 of Randy Ayers. And Randy, it took you until race number 9 to finally get to the top of the standings, but it wasn't over. You had a battle on your hands there with Jim Herrick tonight. Jim seemed to have a little bit more pace than you, but little mistake early, and you made one heck of a move to take over the lead in turn number 2. So first of all, walk me through that.
Yeah, I kind of made a few mistakes, and Jim and Christian they got about a 2-second lead on me, 2.5 seconds, something like that. And then Osvaldo came behind me and was putting pressure on me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let you go by. You can go by, and I'll draft off you and see if I can get an advantage. And sure enough, we a few laps we were able to pull up to Christian and Jim, and then when he went through, I was able to take advantage of that, get by Christian, and then a lap later I was able to get by Jim. Yeah, just got a move on him coming down the front straight, and got inside, was able to hold on. So yeah.
So I mean, you come in here 5 points in the lead on Jim. So as long as you finished, inside the top 5, you were pretty much good to go and locked in as a champion. But you still had to have that in the back of your mind. So how much was it, you kind of thinking of that in the back of your mind and maybe taking it a little easy here tonight? I know myself, whenever I try and take it easy is when I make more mistakes. I need to run the car the way the car's supposed to be run, and that's it. Like I don't have a slower speed. I mean, I can be a little gentler on the tires, but I can't just really back down that pace. How was it for you out here tonight?
Well, I honestly didn't know where I had to finish to win the championship. So going in, I'm like, I better finish first. That's
That's the easiest way to just knock it out. Yeah.
I don't, I'm not good at math, so let's just finish first, and then it pretty much seals it up. My qualifying was horrible. I had an off track my first lap, and so I just had to, get a lap in and make sure that I got on the grid. I did not want to start all the way in the back. So, I slowed up and was maybe a second slower in my qualifying. So that put Jim and Christian way up in front of me. And yeah, I had my work cut out for me. First couple laps, I really had to put the coals to it.
It seemed like you were off pace just a little bit here tonight in practice and qualifying and even in the race for a little bit until you finally found your bearings. But it wasn't a typical Randy Ayers race where you found your little slot and you kind of just ran away with a big win in the M class, as you guys were in a 4-car battle for quite some time, and Dan Moreira was mixed in there as well for most of the race. And then Jim Herrick had his issues and just about locked up the championship for you by doing that. But the win here tonight was not exactly as easy as you've had them the last couple of weeks.
No, it wasn't, not at all. With Dan behind me, and I knew him and Jim were teammates, and I did not want to let him get in front of me and block me at all. Or once I got past Jim, I didn't want him in front of me to pull me back to Jim, right? So I had to keep him behind me, and I think I had just enough pace to do that, fortunately. But yeah, there was 4 or 5 laps where we were nose to tail the whole way around. So that was a lot of fun.
So, I mean, your races don't go without some kind of drama. And about halfway through the race, maybe a later half of the race, Jim Dutton has a little incident in front of you as you're coming through turn number 2. Did you see that on the radar? Did you see it well enough in front that you knew it wasn't going to be an issue, or was that another come on, not again?
No, I saw him and he was wide. So when he came back on the track, I was way on the right-hand side. So, but I know Dan was behind me on the left, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen to Dan. So, but yeah, I made it.
Well, you did make it, and you make it to the championship, and really, that's got to be the biggest bonus here, and the entire thing is the way you started off the season. How does it feel to come away with the championship?
Well, it feels great. I mean, yeah, I put my head down and drove hard, for the last 3 races, and it really paid off. So, I'm looking forward to, I guess, moving to pro next year.
Oh, you're really looking forward to it?
Yeah,
you're in the trust tree here. It's okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. We'll get a new group to race with, and it's all these guys are fun. So, and it just takes one mistake, and if you stay mistake free, you got a really good chance of finishing well. So.
I mean, when you've been grabbing these wins here, I mean, even tonight you finished top 5 overall. So it's not like you're getting smoked by all these pro drivers. So I'm sure you'll be able to move up and compete pretty quickly. So certainly looking forward to that next season.
Pro drivers want you to move up.
Yeah, exactly.
They want you to stay there. Taking all these top 5s from them.
Well, either way, congrats on the AM championship here this season, and came all the way down to the last race. And I know that's not what you guys like to see, but it adds a ton of drama for us up here in the booth. So, great job on on all the wins here this season on your amateur championship. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks to you guys and Jim and the crew at Casual Sim Racers League putting us on. They do a great job. Obviously, my girlfriend running her livery or company livery on there. So her and my cat for staying out of my hair and not walking on my UPS and turning my rig off during the race. So
it helps. It helps for sure.
Yeah. So that's great.
All right. Well, congrats one more time, and we'll let you go celebrate. But not going to be too long lived here. As a few weeks down the road, we're going to have season 9, and we'll see you up there in that pro class.
Thank you, guys. Looking forward to it.
Congrats, Randy.
Thank you.
That's your winner here tonight, putting a stamp on the season and his amateur class championship, Randall Ayers in the 66. Last one we got to bring in here is, again, the man behind the curtain, and that is the driver of the 83, Jim Dutton. And Jim, I guess first we'll talk about the race here, as you had a little something to battle here in this this last race, as you had a bit of a point scrap with Dan Morera coming in 2 points behind him, and it looked like you had an advantage. You had one spot ahead of him for majority of the race, which wasn't going to be enough, but then you had a couple issues here to finish this thing out.
Yeah, I did. Really, Dan drove exceptionally as well, so hats off to him. I'm really impressed with his driving. He also taunted me at the end of the race, which was nice to hear. But yeah, no, he drove very well, and I did not. My tires decided that they didn't want to play anymore, and spun out in turn 1 there, and then just kind of kept on spinning, trying to get back onto the track. So that was fun. But yeah, he's a fantastic driver, super clean, and really like a great guy to have in this league. I'm super happy that he's been a part of it for as long as he has, and he's brought people in too. So that's always a plus, and that's definitely, and it's a testament to the league as well. I mean, it's one thing being a good driver and being a good guy, but knowing that you're in the right league and a league that's fun, it makes you want to get out there and kind of help build the league. And that's what you guys got here at CSRL. I mean, you got a really good group of guys, and really competitive, but they don't get out there and only care about wins. They're out there, and they're out there to have fun, and they're out there to compete very hard, but not drive like tools. Plain and simple. Exactly. So I had a good 4 or 5 lap battle with Herbert Pineda too. I don't know if you guys would have caught it or not, but eventually he did get me, and that's fine. But it was really, really good back and forth. It was a lot of fun, and everybody in this league who there have been people who have come and gone, who can be a little bit dive bomby and a bit aggressive, like really aggressive, overly, but for the most part here, everybody is fantastic. Just a great group of drivers, a great group of guys, and I'd lend any one of them my car. So
the race?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's a lease, whatever.
The legacy one for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. I mean, either way, you do finish in the top 5 in the points. You finish in 4th. So overall, a pretty decent season. But I mean, really, it's all a testament to all the guys out here, like we talked about. So, what are your kind of final thoughts on this season? How do you think it went? Do you think there was some things that need to be tweaked for next season? Or are you happy with the overall product? What do we have looking forward to for season 9?
So we're going to be promoting a lot more in advance of season 9. We're going to be doing a 10-week schedule again, starting probably the second week of the iRacing official schedule. So we'll have 3 weeks in between to kind of set everything up and really blast the promotion, so we can get our numbers back up to the 35-40 per week that we were seeing last season. And I'm pretty confident that we will get there. We also brought in Raynon de Lima. I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, but we brought him in as an admin to help with that. Just my schedule is very busy, and so is Craig and Rich. So just make sure that we have enough boots on the ground trying to get people in here to enjoy this, so we can grow our league, we can grow your broadcasts, and everybody benefits, right? So
Yeah, I mean, as a fellow league owner, it takes a village to run a league. I mean, it's you can be the main man behind the curtains, but you need like you said, you need those boots on the ground to try and drum up drivers and not just before the season, throughout the season and at the end of the season to build for next season. It's a constant recruiting process, and really that the biggest recruiting tool is word of mouth, and having a great league out there and having drivers that really love the league certainly helps that out.
yeah, I'm with summer's going to be a bit of a challenge too, I think, and
Yeah,
I
usually
feel
is.
like that. Yeah, I feel like there was some attrition for sure this season, like maybe a little bit more so than normal, but it is what it is. Finished off with everybody was having a great time tonight, so and I'm very, very happy with the product we've built here, and we will continue to grow and push on moving forward. So.
Well, we appreciate the partnership with you guys. I mean, these first 2 seasons have been great. I expect season 9 to just be more of the same. It's been a blast. I know Joe, getting his feet wet 2 seasons ago and his his first foray into the road racing. Now he's actually getting out there and running a little bit of road racing and getting a taste for it. Just from watching you guys, I think he got the itch. So it's been fun. I mean, Joe, what do you have for Mr. Jim Dutton here?
Oh no, just yeah, really what you just said. Just been fun these last 2 seasons, and really looking forward to season 9. I know you're gonna do your due diligence, off the track and before the season starts, and try to get these numbers up to where you were a couple seasons ago, and get some more drivers out here. And I know they'll put on a great show as they have here all season long, and really excited to see what's going to happen in season 9.
Yeah, me too. I'm pretty thrilled to be able to have a league that's been going on as long as it has, and it still seems to have a lot of steam. So. Not a lot. There aren't a lot of leagues that last all that long, as far as I'm aware. This is actually the first league I've ever been a part of. Like, so I've never run another league. I probably should try that, but it's just the keys were kind of handed to me, and I took it over, and I just kind of thought, how would I like something to be run, and that's how I've kind of put it forth. And Rich has been just instrumental in keeping me in check with some of the ideas, because some of them can definitely be a bit time consuming. But it's been it's been a lot of fun. I'm proud to say that I've built, or I've helped build this up and everything. So
Well, that's the biggest thing, is as long as it stays fun.
yeah, exactly. There's some weeks are better than others, for sure. You get, I mean, you guys will deal with it too. Get somebody protests, and then you get the back and forth between the racers and such. It's that can be a little taxing, but I mean, it's the price of admission, right? So.
Yeah, Core was like one of the very first leagues that I joined once I got on iRacing, and just the way that Carl and Jimmy and all the admins there handle business is just, I mean, like almost the way, I mean, like the way you guys do it, like, no nonsense, and get rid of those guys who aren't going to help the league grow or be better. Get rid of those bad drivers, eggs. Those tempers, those bad eggs, and get rid of them, because one person doesn't define a league or run the league or whatever. So I just really I've always appreciated the way Carl does it, and being here the last 2 seasons, that's you do it just about the same way. So it's a really good way to do it. So keep doing what you're doing, and it's it's showing in the numbers. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that, and I appreciate your guys' broadcast too. It's fantastic to watch. Like every week I use it to do cardio. So
there you go.
Yeah, just like get on the elliptical and go for an hour or so, right?
We'll try and pick it up and keep it more upbeat, and maybe we'll put it on 2x speed next time and and try and get you really burned.
Sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, to kind of jump on what Joe was saying, it's great to have those big numbers. It's great to have those 30, 40 drivers out there on track. But if 3 or 4 of them are bad eggs, it's going to taint it for everybody else. So I'd much rather have 20 really good guys that enjoy being out there with each other than having an extra 10 guys out there that are just gonna kind of sully the product. So again, you guys are going about it the right way, and liking what I'm seeing, and certainly again glad to be on board here for these last 2 seasons and for the next one coming up.
Absolutely, we're glad to have you. Thank you very much for affording us this opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, once again, thank you, Jim Dutton, for putting on CSRL, for all the drivers out here, all the fans out there watching, and already looking forward to season 9. Just a mere few weeks away here, so keep in mind on Wednesday nights to tune in here to CRN to check out season 9 for CSRL here in the GT3 cars, and see who's going to come out with the Pro and Am class champions for that season. But this one was a great one all the way through the season. As me and Joe said multiple times, drama at every turn, drama at every corner, and it makes for the the great product that we have out here. And it's almost like a sitcom weekly. And it seems like every week there was a cliffhanger that led you on to the next week. So it was great to see. And thank you once again to Jim Herrick and 40racewear.com for their sponsorship here on the series. And once again, check out 40racewear.com for the original racing gloves for your feet. Thank you to all the fans that tuned in tonight and throughout the season here on CRN. It's been a blast. I'm already looking forward to season 9. I know the other boys here, Joe and Jim, are too. But for myself and Joe here at CRN and at the Suzuka International Racing Course, we'll see you at the track.